जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees at his residential room in Dakshineshwar temple premises on a Sunday afternoon dated 26th October 1884, as recorded in the first volume of the original Bengali presentation by M. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, within chapter 13 and section 3. 1:13:3. In the Hindi translation, Sri Ramakrishna Bachanamrit, it is recorded in the second volume, volume 2, chapter 101, section 3, and under chapter 33 of the chronologically presented English rendering, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This section is extremely important and relevant for sincere seekers of truth. This morning, one young boy asked me that everybody in this world is working towards happiness, and in some way or other each person becomes happy whatever he or she is doing. Then what is the difference in doing so-called good works and bad works? If someone finds happiness in doing wrong things and feels joy, what is the harm? So the answer is, as I explained to him, that the happiness has different dimensions, and the quality of happiness gets more and more refined with the evolution of the creature. In the animal kingdom, the happiness is restricted in the physical body, whereas for human beings, it has additional gadgets for happiness. It's the mind. Swami Vivekananda says, as in the animal kingdom, the entire consciousness is limited to the physical senses. So they get all their happiness derived from the physical body, as opposed to human beings. No human being can relish its food as intensely as a dog gets the joy in biting a piece of meat. On the other hand, the dog is incapable of having a joy in the remembrance of God. It is restricted to the animal kingdom. So having obtained the rare opportunity of this human body, if we restrict our happiness like the animals, then we degrade ourselves. We do not deserve to have this human body. We are abusing this human body. We are losing a great opportunity. So those human beings who are intelligent enough to realize that they are capable, eligible to have higher dimensions of happiness, they do not want to miss the opportunity. So having seen the utter hollowness or the limitations of the sensual pleasures, they aspire to have something more refined, something more tangible, more palpable, more attractive. And that starts the door of spiritual life. So when they enter the spiritual quest, they find that the goal of human life, as has been corroborated repeatedly by Sri Ramakrishna, is a realization of God. Ishwar Darshan, Atma Sakshatkar, whatever form you may term that level of realization. Sri Ramakrishna emphatically said, without leaving any trace of ambiguity or confusion, ईश्वर दर्शन ही मनुष्य जीवन का उद्देश्य है. ईश्वर दर्शनी मानुष जीवनेर उद्देश्य. The goal of human life is to see God. And he has clearly specified what does it mean by seeing God, because he was associated with a person like Swami Vivekananda, who resolved all our doubts forever. He was a personification of a questioning mind, raising doubts till he was convinced. So Sri Ramakrishna knew this person cannot be hoodwinked. He has to be humbled with proper replies, followed by real life examples and realizations and demonstrations. So to the question of Narendranath, have you seen God? His emphatic, point blank reply was, yes, I have seen God. And before he could ask what is the nature of vision, immediately he said, I see God as I see you. There is no ambiguity. It's not that I see in a vision, I see in dream. God can be seen, I have seen God as I see you. But he adds that there is a difference. He does not oversimplify the matter. He says, but that vision is more direct, something deeper, something more tangible, something more memorable. It is like the difference between seeing something in dream and seeing something in the wakeful state. When you dream something, the mind goes in a subconscious level. So the vision is hazy. You see definitely in dreams, but it's not as direct as in the wakeful state. Jagrat darshan एवं स्वप्न दर्शन में फरक है। आपचा दर्शन प्रत्यक्ष नয়। प्रत्यक्ष, in the wakeful state we see direct, and that's why what we dream we hardly remember. It comes and goes because it is hazy, seems something in a mist, in a fog, not direct daylight. But when you see directly, then it is clear and we remember for longer hours. Similarly, taking this sequel, when a person sees God, then the mind ascends to a superconscious level. Dream is in a subconscious level. Wakeful state is a conscious level, and seeing God in a superconscious level. Avachetan, Chetan, Ati Chetan. So in this sequel, the superconscious visions are more direct than we see in the wakeful state. That's why he said it's more direct. There's a difference. I see as you see you, but it's more direct. It is unforgettable, and it is a source of perennial joy. Because what you see, whom you see, is Ananda Swarup. Bhagavan is Ananda Swarup. So that is our goal. Sri Ramakrishna fixes that goal for us. Not only for us, for all human beings. But there needs a clarification. Is it really true that all human beings, irrespective of the background, should fix this goal? All of us think that this statement needs some qualification. It is not only human beings, but those who are either fortunate human beings or holy people or having lot of faith or background or spirituality. It is restricted to them only, not for all of us. We try to qualify that statement out of our own ignorance and ego. We have no business to complicate a simple statement by God, but that is our nature, because we are of complicated nature. We are used to make things complicated, but that will not solve the problem. Sri Ramakrishna gives a straight statement. It is meant for all, high or low, illiterate or educated, men or women, Indian or foreign, of any age, on qualification, human body. All of us have human body, that's all. Nothing more is necessary. No more qualification is necessary. Rather, God says, more the qualifications, more are the problems. You are away from God. Qualifications are called upadhi. And he says it takes us away from God, it increases our ego, it infatuates our ego and separates us from God. Shankaracharya says, Godavam Ghoradoravam Pratishtha Shukari Vishtha. What we aspire to attain in life glory, recognition, they are to be rejected if we are sincere to realize God. So naturally, those who are sincere spiritual seekers of truth, they aspire to see God. That is the goal of their life. This is their principal rhythm of life. And this topic dwells upon this very topic, this very idea which is lurking in our mind. How to see God? So a devotee from Konnagar, a group of devotees from Konnagar came and sincerely asked, "We have heard that you have seen God. If that be true, please show God to us." Very simple question. We are not able to see God with our own effort. So naturally, we can go to a person who has seen God and get his counsel and help so that he may be able to assist me to see God on our own. So we have first of all discussed at length that how do we know that a person has seen God? There are some signs by which the person knows himself and the others also know. Swasambhedya and Parasambhedya. These are discussed in our last previous classes. We do not want to get into that anymore, but I want to remind you of those points. And then in reply to this question, that please show God to us, Sri Ramakrishna says, neither a person can see God for himself or show it to others. Neither God can be seen or shown by one's own effort. It's a bold statement. No one can see God on his own, and if he cannot see God on his own, how can he show it to others? Sri Ramakrishna quotes his own example, his own realization, and he says, even me, I cannot see God whenever I want to. It's definitely a divine, a very enjoyable experience to see God, but it is not in my hands. Shavi Ishwaradhin. It depends on him. I cannot force God to reveal himself to him. I can only pray, I can try. But not necessarily that attempt will be successful. Now this leaves a doubt and question in our mind, that there is a trace of chance, probability in God realization, because it cannot be done on one's own. So we have to understand that the seeing God is not a material experience, it is a spiritual experience. The laws of material world are different from the laws of spiritual world. In a material world, everything is definite, depends on matter only. That is inert, that doesn't have intelligence. If there is a physical truth, scientific truth, chemical law, it is equally applicable for one and all, irrespective of any person. It is objective, not subjective. There is a formula how distilled water is made. We add certain chemicals with a given environment and conditions, there will be a product generated. This is how the products are made. Anybody throughout the world who conducts this experiment will get the similar result without fail. That's why it is called law. Law of gravitation, that is applicable whether you are in London or in Lucknow. It will be realized by one and all. A fruit drops on the ground, it will not fly, never. So whenever a fruit gets ripened, no more can be held by the branch, it will fall inevitably. There is no chance. So with this scientific outlook, we want to realize God. But we must know it is not a material outcome, it is a spiritual outcome, and there is a consciousness involved. It's a different science. They are similar. And Swami Vivekananda adds, so this created a lot of confusion in theology. Theologians went on saying that the spiritual experiences are not governed by material laws, by science. It is a different subject. So it created a lot of hypothesis, hocus pocus, and mysticism. Swami Vivekananda has said that it's true, the spiritual experiences are not governed by science, but it is not anti-science. Science supports, is not against science, is not against reasoning, it transcends reasoning. It's not anti-reasoning. You must accept it, but you may not be able to explain it. It is not within our explanation that why the same person is doing similar experiment are getting variable result. Because there is a play of a subject, a God, of a grace. In material science there is no grace. It is objective. This object is mixed with this object, this result will be done for one and all. But in spiritual life, spiritual experience, that's not so. So you have to understand very deeply. But it will not do something which cannot be understood by our reasoning. It will not be unreasonable. It will be reasonable. But it may be beyond reason. Everything cannot be explained. It may be inexplicable. So now, with this understanding, we find Sri Ramakrishna saying that realization of God is dependent on the will of God. Now if that be so, if it is kripa shapeksha, Ishwar adhin, then what is the role of human effort? Naturally the question comes, if it depends on God, then what is left to us? जब होगा देखा जाएगा, ये तो हमारा हाथ के बाहर है, पहुंच के बाहर है. Sri Ramakrishna first of all wanted to give this message saying that do not think that come for the pursuit of God realization with an ego, ahankar, that I will be able to do it. In this journey, the first and the last thing to do is to annihilate your ego or ahankar. The first thing to do and the last thing to do. Do not come with this ahankar that I will realize God, I will see Him. God is not under you. Material is under you. You can dictate on the matter, but not on spirit. We have to understand that we are Mayadhin. God is Mayadhish. We are under the spell of ignorance. God is above the level of ignorance. So the difference. The person whom you want to see is not bound by you. You cannot dictate as you can dictate on matter. We can be an emperor of the material world, but God is the emperor of all. We cannot rule over God. That's beyond our capacity. So this humility must come. This utter sense of self-surrender must come. Self-surrender, annihilation of the ego. Tasmat tamiva sharanam mamadina bandhu. Until and unless we have this spirit of samarpan, self-surrender, we have to realize. That realization comes only when you try. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says in the next sentence, Karmochai. You have to work to come to this state of realization. We cannot deny that we have ego. Let us all accept it. Just by saying that I do not have ego, ego does not evaporate. That is the very foundation of our life. But the goal is to efface the ego gradually and gradually. Sooner the better. And that process comes when you know that the goal which you want to achieve is not dependent on you alone. But that does not mean that you will be away from work. Why? First reason is we cannot remain without work, let alone God realization. Our nature is such that we cannot remain even a moment without work. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jato tishtat takarmakrit karyate yavashak karma sarvai pragiti jayit gune. अबश होकर मजबूर होकर हमें काम करना पड़ेगा. इज अवर नेचर. वी कैनॉट रिमेन इवन ए मोमेंट विदाउट वर्क. सो लेट अस नेवर थिंक दैट दिस इज अ वे. दिस इज एन इनफिजिबल इनवैलिड वे टू गिव अप वर्क. सो देन ऑल ऑफ अस आर वर्किंग ऑन आवर ओन. So Sri Ramakrishna says, in order to realize God, one has to work. We are all working. Why don't we realize God then? This question may be asked. Okay, everything depends on God, and also we have a contribution, we have to work. Everyone is working. Then why the result is not coming? Simply working will not do. We have to learn the secret of work. That is the point. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Yoga matlab union with God, vision of God is ensured by developing dexterity in work, efficiency in work, art of doing work. We have to know, master the art of doing work. Same work brings us down or elevates us depending on the way we perform the work. Work is same. Depending on the attitude, the dexterity, the kaushal, something becomes productive, same thing becomes counterproductive. So the verse 17 of chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Yog, Sri Krishna says, कर्मणो यपि बोध्यव्यम बोध्यव्यस्य विकर्मणा अकर्मणस्य बोध्यम गहना कर्मणो गति ही. The movement of work is extremely deep, gahan, complex. It cannot be decided naively. The same work may have the result in a very peculiar way. Everything depends on the attitude. Lot of stories are said about it, that how the same work becomes different, performed by different people, because they are done with these different attitudes. Sometimes we cannot decipher. We did with a good intention, how these things happened. Now, this Sri Krishna says in this verse, 3 types of karma. Karmana hi api bodhyapam. We have to understand what is karma. Bodhyapam bikarmana. We have to understand what is bikarma. Second is bikarma. Akarmanascha bodhyapam. Third is the akarma. And unless we know the differentiation, will end up into difficulty. So what is karma? That is the work which should be done, sat karma. That is the injunctions. We are supposed to do that karma. What is bikarma? Which is not to be done, prohibitions. Some actions are do's, karna chahiye. Some actions are don'ts, nahi karna chahiye. Satya bolna chahiye. We should speak the truth. Ma brua satyam apriyam. Apriya satya bolna nahi chahiye. वो भी सत्य है. That is also the truth. But we should not speak the truth which harms anyone, which disturbs anyone. We better be quiet. So these are the do's and don'ts. So one is karma. We have to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done. They are told in the Shastras, in scriptures, by holy people. They tell us. And akarmanascha buddharam, when we feel that it is very complicated, it may give positive or negative results if you are not very clear. So why don't you give up work? Do as little work as possible. Just maintain my livelihood and become indifferent. So that also is counterproductive. So these 3 varieties of work have 3 different results. Our mind is made up of 3 constituents, as is the whole world, Trigunatmika. The macrocosm and microcosm are the same. The external world, the creation, the Srishti, and our own mind within ourselves have the same nature, Trigunatmika. 3 gunas, these 3 qualities make up this constitute which is our mind, Antakarana, our thought process, our intelligence, our memory, our ego, ahankar. This mind is 3-dimensional. One is sattva, another is rajas, another is tamas. Sattva is poise, tranquility, samya bhav, equanimity, sthirta. When the mind is quiet, mind is pure, mind is happy, that is called swatik bhav of the mind. And second is rajas, rajasic, sattva, raja, dynamism. mind is active. When the mind is not steady, mind is active. So that generates restlessness and ends up into grief. So those works which increases our ability to make the mind quiet are called karma or sattvic karma. And those works which generates more and more desire and binds us down, that is not to be done. That is vikarma. And when the mind goes into tamas, tamas means passivity, inaction. It induces dullness, delusion, jadata, mudata, alasya. That is akarma. That degrades the mind. So karma elevates the mind by increasing our sattvic tendencies, makes the mind gradually quiet. We should not think that we cannot work without being restless. Rather, when we are not restless, then we can do maximum work. Work generates restlessness. That is our normal belief. So then if a person is sattvic, then how is he not restless? Because his work is sattvic, not rajasic. What is the difference? Rajasic work is generated with the intention of desire, kamana, vasana. There is a root of the incentive, the reason for doing our work. That tends to make it rajasic, ends up in grief. The same work, when it is done, intensely done, for the sake of God, then makes the mind quiet, elevates us. That is karma. That is vikarma. And giving up work, leading a lazy, inactive life is akarma. It degrades us. In the animal kingdom, the vikarmas give us a chance to remain in the human life, try again, and karma elevates us, makes us gods. Finally, enables us to see God. So this is in general described in the Bhagavad Gita. Now then, these injunctions, prohibitions, they vary from time to time. So the principle is told Shruti, that is equally applicable for all ages. There is a principle, Tattvam. But the application of the Tattvam varies from age to age. Whatever was relevant in those ages, in old ages, is no more relevant now. Sri Ramakrishna says, the coins of the Mughal Empire are no more valid in the current monetary system. So the injunctions and prohibitions which are recorded in our past scriptures has no relevance today. Making sacrifice, elaborate systems of worship, they are not relevant today. Neither we know those mantras, nor those rituals, nor do we have a competent person. So how to do this work? This is a question. We have understood chronologically that God cannot be seen on our own, but in order to see God, we must work so the mind becomes ready to see God. But then work has various dimensions. It may bind us down, it may elevate us, or it may degrade us. So for us, what is to be done? We understand that karma karna chahiye, without what we cannot remain. But karma इसी ढंग से करना चाहिए ताकि वो हमारे फायदामंद हो, न कि हानिकर हो जाए. ये खतरनाक है. कर्म इज वेरी डेंजरस. गहना कर्म न गति. इट में आइदर एलिवेट यू और डिग्रेड यू. बहुत होशियार होकर कर्म करना चाहिए. कर्म तो करना ही पड़ेगा. हम लोग हर वक्त कर्म कर ही रहे हैं. पता नहीं कैसे कर्म चल, इसलिए हम लोग धोखाधड़ी में पड़ जाते हैं. वी गेट चीटेड, वी गेट लॉस्ट. So you have to do the work with intelligence by applying your reasoning. That's why you said the reasoning should be there. It should not be anti-reason. So now for us it is, we are very fortunate that God descends on earth in the form of Sri Ramakrishna and in clear terms has told what is to be done. Clearly, no ambiguity. He says karma karna chahiye, then he enlists the work to be done. So that list should be first heard, then cogitated, accepted, and then implemented. That's the job to be done. So that's why the study of the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is extremely important for spiritual seekers. Because he is discussing the very object of our life, the very aim of our life, and helping us how to realize that goal in this very life within our limited capacity, within our constraints, because he assures us we have the requisite competence to see God wherever we are, because we have this human body. Let us not take it lightly. Halkapan se na liya jaye. We are the last word of the creation. Srishti Shrestha Jeev, human being. We do not give value to ourselves. That is a tragedy of life. We undermine ourselves. We think we are sinners. Papi tapi jeev, hum log ko kuch nahi hoga. We bind us down. Swamiji says, thine only is the hand that holds the rope that drags thee on. Cease lament, let go thy hold. Let us not undermine ourselves. Sri Ramakrishna says in some other point, section in the Kathamrita, that Vibhishana was ruling in Sri Lanka. After Sri Ramchandra came back to Ayodhya, he put him on the throne. Vibhishana, he was ruling. But he was a Danava, Asura. Now one day, one person got lost in the sea, and then the waves carried him to the shore of Sri Lanka. Then people carried him, he was half dead. So somehow his consciousness was regained and is brought to the court of Vibhishana, that this person has come all the way floating in the sea, but he is still alive. Sri Ramakrishna says, as soon as Vibhishana saw this person, he clothed him nicely, fed him nicely, bathed him, fed him, clothed him nicely, decorated him, put him on a throne without asking who he is. Just by seeing that he is a human being, he resembles Sri Ramachandra. He comes from the country of Sri Ramachandra. He is a human being. He is to be worshipped. And he went on worshipping the person. The person was lost. A simple fisherman, he got lost, he regained his life, but he is being worshipped because his qualification is he is a human being. Unfortunately, we do not respect ourselves. When we look ourselves against a mirror, we think we are Maranshil, we will die, we are short-lived. We never realize we are Amar, we are immortal, children of bliss. Amritasya putraha, we are the children of the immortal bliss. That conviction must come, that self-respect must dawn. Then only we can progress in our spiritual life. If you do not believe that you can realize God, you can never realize God. That conviction must come. I am born to realize God, I will. Provided I get myself engaged in the proper system of work. Work I am doing, but appropriate work must be implemented. Attitude of work has to be developed. So what work has to be done? Sri Ramakrishna says, कर्म चाहिए तब दर्शन होती है. A man must work. Only then can he see God. Our goal is to see God. So for us, we cannot take the recourse of inaction. No, there is no room of superannuation or retirement. Many people think that I will retire, I will have an easy life. There is no scope of easy life here. Asukte amrite. Till the last moment, as long as we are awake in a day, we have to continuously go and doing good work. No respite, no recess. Swami Madhavananda used to say, relaxation is change of work. Relaxation is not abstaining from work. Relaxation is change of work. So when you change the work, we feel relaxed. We are doing this, we change something else, we feel relaxed. But you cannot think that we are without work. That will infuse us to lazy thoughts and degrade us. We have to continuously keep us engaged in something or other. Till when? Till we fall asleep. And how long? Till we die. Asupte amrite. As long as we are awake, as long as we are in this life, in this body. That should be the motto. We must strive hard to do continuously do work. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. A man must work. A man must work. Only then can he see God. He has assured us. If you work, we'll be able to see God. Now Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. Whatever he is saying. Upama Ramakrishnasya. He always thrives his point with illustrations. There is a way of teaching, way of demonstration. Simple examples he'll give. He says, one day in Kamarpukur there is a pond. It's called Haldarpukur. Those who have gone to Kamarpukur, the birthplace of Sri Ramakrishna, see a big tank where Sri Ramakrishna used to take bath and water is to be taken. Big tank made by some Haldar, Mr. Haldar. So his name is known by his name, Haldarpukur. Haldar is a surname. Big pond. Many of his illustrations are centering around Haldarpukur. Now, the Haldarpukur, the water was not visible all the time because it was covered with hyacinths. One day in an exalted mood, I had a vision of the Haldarpukur. I saw a low-caste villager drawing water after pushing aside the green scum. Green scum. He is pushing aside. He is covered with the green scum, so the water is not visible. एक दिन भवावेश में मैंने हलदार तालाब देखा. एक तालाब है. देखा एक निम्न जाति का आदमी काई हटाकर पानी भर रहा है. जैसे काई पड़ा हुआ है, कवरिंग. उसने दिखाया काई हटाए बिना पानी नहीं भरा जा सकता. कर्म बिना किए भक्ति नहीं होती. ईश्वर दर्शन नहीं होता. This is the reason, this is the illustration. Why karma is necessary? Karma is not seeing water. Karma cannot ensure. जहाँ पर पानी नहीं है, काई हटाने से पानी दिखाई नहीं पड़ेगा, लेकिन जहाँ पानी है उसके ऊपर काई पड़ा हुआ है, काई हटाना पड़ेगा. अर्थात you have to have a contribution towards seeing God is there, water is there, but it is covered. So the covering has to be uncovered. उन्मोचन करना चाहिए, कहीं हटाना पड़ेगा. That is the work involved. So Sri Ramakrishna gives this example that karma is necessary to match with the grace of God which is ever flowing. God's grace is flowing. He is not biased. Many times we think that He is biased. Some people are able to realize God, some not. So He is Isharadhin. So the idea is not God is biased. He is favoring somebody and not favoring others. But God's grace has to be encashed, has to be utilized by our contribution, by our little effort. Salpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Little contribution necessary, however small, but matching work is necessary. We cannot remain idle. 10% is not granted because we have to make ourselves ready to receive His grace. That is our contribution. So Sri Ramakrishna says that is necessary, so that is work is necessary. Important. Now what work we have to do? As I said, it is karma, not vikarma, not akarma. That he enlists this way. Work means, what does the work means for us, for spiritual seekers of truth? We are not after making money or earning a lot of degrees. We are interested to see God. For us, what is the meaning of work? What is to be done? Clearly says, work means meditation, number 1, japa, number 2, and the like and similar activities. The chanting of God's name and glories in work 2. Ishwar Naam Guna Kirtan, God's name and His glories to be highlighted in chanting, singing His glory, singing His name. So meditation, japam, puja, etc. and chanting His name, Nama Sankirtan, Naam Guna Kirtan, bhajan. That's not all. The list is not exhausted. You may also, because those who cannot do these things full time, it's not easy. You may try and find out. It's not easy to do meditation and japam and chanting the name of God all the time. You feel tired, you feel monotonous. The mind is not set for that, for the beginners. So you add something more. You may also include, if you want, if you are incapable of taking the name of God all the time, it's not necessary. You don't have to work, do anything else. If you can engage your mind in the thought of God without doing anything, that's enough. That's the best thing to do. Many people think that this person is worthless, he is not doing any service to society. That is the greatest service they are doing. Swami Vivekananda says, a person who's deeply lost in meditation in a cave of the Himalayas, he is doing the greatest service to society. How? He has no connection with society. He says the good thoughts which is created by him, the vibration that transcends the mountains and flows throughout the world and creates a holistic atmosphere, that is the greatest service to the humanity he is doing by quietly meditating in a cave all the way back in the mountains. But that's not given to one and all. By sitting 4 hours in meditation, you will feel your head is reeling. So then what is the way out? He gives practical solution. It's a practical handbook. You can also include charity, sacrifice and so on. Do some good works. Do something for others. Do something selfless service, sacrifice. That is called yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Jag does not mean pouring only the ghee in the butter in the fire. There is the old form of doing jag. The new form is Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva, doing service to humanity as service to God. The new definition of Yajna, Seva Yajna. Do something for others. Not only for yourself, you have to do something for yourself, for your maintenance, to keep your body and mind together, to take care of your dependents, to take care of your responsibilities and obligations. But that's not all. That will not enable you to see God. You have to do something more, and that is work. If you think that I'm maintaining myself, I'm maintaining my family and my job, that is work, no. That is not the work specified here. You have to do that nevertheless. Continue to do. He is not debarred. You have to live to do something. You have to earn to help others. You cannot steal or borrow. So that action is permitted, provided the motive is, after my maintenance is over, I have to help others. And as much I am able to help others, I am closer to God. So this attitude will minimize your own requirements and maximize your help for others. Your time is limited, 24 hours. Earning is limited. So now you are spending a major fraction of your earning for your own maintenance and a minor fraction for the maintenance of others. That fraction will change depending on your attitude towards your goal. So we'll explain further about this diversion of work, because here Sri Ramakrishna says two varieties of work. One is hovering over our antarindriya and the other is concerning our bahirindriya. We have 11 organs of senses. 10 organs are external. 1 organ is internal. We have to engage all our 11 organs to perform this work. So the works which are involved with the 10 external organs is one category. That is Naam Guna Kirtan, Puja, Dan, Yajna. And the organ for engaging our internal mind is Dhyana, Japa. This will explain further, and Sri Ramakrishna gives an illustration to explain this also, which we'll try to take up in our next Sunday class.